Hey guys, it's Liz of Consumed by Books, and this is what I got in my mailbox this week. I did get quite a bit, so I'm going to get right into it. I only got one book for review, which is probably good because I'm still playing catch up a little bit on my review pile, and that is Dale and the Painted People by Alan Richard Schickman. This is book 3 in the Xanga series. I've reviewed the first book, which is just called Xanga, and I have the second book, Xanga and the Beautiful Country, in my review pile, which I'm hoping to get to soon. So be on the lookout for that. And next is everything that I bought this week or got signed, and I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of a big pile. So yeah. I got a Game of Thrones box set, the first 4 books. So we have A Game of Thrones, A Feast of Crowns, A Clash of Kings, and A Storm of Swords. I think those are all in order, but they're all by George R.R. Martin. I've been interested in reading them for a while, especially now that they're making a mini-series out of them. And I know I said it was a box set and you didn't see a box. It's because the day they came it was raining and I wasn't home right away to bring the box in, so the box that they actually came in got ruined, which is what happens. Let's see, I got A Little Friendly Advice by Siobhan Vivian, or I think it's actually Siobhan. Mitali, she is Mitali on me on Twitter, and her blog is Alley of Books. Recommended that I read some of Siobhan's books, and she recommended that I start with this one. So that looks good. And then earlier this week on Twitter, I was talking to Ashley of Books from Blett, Basically Amazing, and Jordan from 10 Cent Notes. Their Twitter handles are Basically Books and Jordan Face. But Ashley recently read The Day Before by Lisa Schroeder and really loved it, and she's been very into verse books lately, so I asked her if she'd read any of Sonia Sone's books, and she said yes, and we got to talking about them. Basically, I felt the need to go out and buy a bunch of Sonia Sone's books after having that conversation, so I got What My Girlfriend Doesn't Know by Sonia Sones, What My Mother Doesn't Know, and one of those hideous books where the mother dies, excuse me, all by Sonia Sones. I have read both of these in like middle school, and I really loved them at the time, and I would like to reread them, so I finally have my own copies. And I've never read this one, but it looks good. And I also got a copy of Scars, which is by Cheryl Rainfield. So Cheryl played a big role in the recent YA Smackdown, as some people are referring to it, the NPR talk between Maureen Johnson and Megan Cox-Gurdon, and I really thought Cheryl made some excellent points, and that listening to her on that program really made me go out and buy her book, so I did. So I hope it's good. Next up, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, Eon by Allison Goodman. Look, it is Lured by Tamora Pierce. I loved it. Can't wait for the sequel. If Tamora Pierce liked this book, that's probably a pretty good sign. But this is kind of high fantasy. I think it's about a girl who dresses up as a guy. And I also have to say that I love this cover. I think it's super pretty. Okay, next up I got Want to Go Private by Sarah Dara Littman. I don't think this actually comes out until August 2nd, but I had pre-ordered it on I pre-ordered it on Amazon because I read an arc of this through Teen Book Scene and I loved it. It's really fantastic. You should read it. And they shipped it early, I guess. So I have my copy now. Want to Go Private by Sarah Dara Littman. If you haven't read it, you should definitely do so. Next up are a couple more books that I've already read, actually. We have Ice by Sarah Beth Durst. I actually didn't love this one. For me, it was just kind of a book that I liked. But I do think that this hardcover is absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to get a finished copy to put on my shelves. And I should be reading Drink, Slay, Love, Sarah's upcoming release soonish. So keep an eye out for that. And next up, I got a copy of Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I wanted to get this hardcover, and I keep saying in this vlog, I'm sorry. I wanted to get this hardcover because I know that they are redoing the covers for this series, and I actually think this one is better, just because I think so many covers use like a girl's face right now, that I think it's quite interesting when, you know, someone mixes it up a little bit. I know this still has a face, but I like how they mix it up with the lettering, and this is another one that I thought was just okay, but I'm hoping that it will get better as the series goes on. I'm excited for Liesl and Poe, Lauren Oliver's upcoming middle grade book. I got a finished copy of Supernaturally by Kiersten White. I did get an ARC of this last week, but I sent it onwards. This is the sequel to Paranormalcy, which is right there. I love how they do the back covers on this one. It's always very well done. Or this series, I should say. Looks really good. Can't wait to read it. Very excited. Next up, I got a copy of The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood. I have a hardcover of this as well, but I think both covers are great, so I figured I'd get both. The prequel to this book is Oryx and Crake. Hoping to get to that one fairly soon, but I kind of want to reread The Handmaid's Tale first just because it's been so long. So we'll see when I get to that. And a couple Harry Potter related things. Some bookmarks, which I intend to utilize in my reread of the series. And the unofficial Harry Potter cookbook, which looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Lastly, I went to a signing with Tessa Gratton and Maggie Stiefvater earlier this week. It was really awesome, and they are super cool in person, probably two of the most down-to-earth authors who I've ever met, and I got a bunch of books signed. I actually only bought one book at the signing, which is really good for me. So Tessa signed my copy of Blood Magic. She wrote, "To Liz, live forever." And I don't know if you can see this, but she made like a little smiley face and a little dead smiley face in the oath in Blood Magic. I thought that was really funny. It's probably like my favorite signature that I've seen by an author. I was watching one of Scott Tracy's vlogs recently. He's the author of Witch Eyes, which I got last week. And he said that this book is like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but with blood. Sounds interesting. I'm having a really hard time picturing that. But I am looking forward to reading it. And I'm just going to drag this pile of books over here. Okay. Sorry about that. The one book that I bought this week at the signing, not this week, obviously I've gotten a lot, is Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. She drew a little wolf for me. Oh, you liked that. And signed it. She had a bunch of swag, so I got postcards for the Scorpio races, a Forever keychain, this is teen postcards, a flash drive, which apparently has a bunch of This Is Teen materials on it. She signed the bookmarks that Misty over at the Book Rack made me, which was pretty cool. And she also signed my ARC of the Scorpio races, which is awesome. She signed my hardcovers of Shiver and Linger, and I just finished reading Linger earlier this week, so you should be looking out for a review of that pretty soon here. And lastly, she signed my copy of Lament, which I have yet to read, but we'll get to eventually. So that is everything that I got in my mailbox this week. Quite a lot, but that's okay. Looking forward to eventually reading all of these books. TBR pile is going to eat me. That's why my blog is called Consumed by Books. Anyways, I want to hear about what you got in your mailbox this week, so you should leave a link down in the comments and I will come and visit and check you out. Happy reading, everybody!